Hey guys, Grumpy here with another episode of Long Haul. So I've been experimenting on my own, and I think I discovered some very interesting things. So if we go over here to Intel screen and we look at hostile activity, um, it tells you right here what your monthly factors are, like what's contributing to your increase or decrease of hostile activity. And then on the right side here are the recent one-time events. So the one-time events are destroying hostile fleets as well as destroying bases, and I think buying immunities also are your one-times, and then more importantly are your monthlies. So um, one of the ways you can kind of mitigate this is increasing your defenses, which it tells you what contributes to that. So the size of your colonies, as well as having patrol HQ, military base, or high command. But one of the easier ways, and one of the ways that you actually end up racking up a lot of hostile activity, is through Luddic path interest. So you can mitigate this kind of easily, and that just requires you do a little management of your cores, of your colonies. So if we look at it, we get a plus 10 to Luddic path, and this is from technology and AI core use. Well, what does that mean exactly? If we look at Ra here, you'll see on Ra, the only planet with a Luddic path interest, right? We could look at our other colonies, no other, the pathers don't care about anyone else. What you'll see is that 10 directly correlates with the 10 that's on the hostile activity screen. So if we want to reduce our monthly increase, because right now we're ticking down by 1, all we have to do is go over here to Raw and remove some of the items. So we'll actually grab some AI cores, some gammas, head over to Raw, and then we'll do some rearranging of our industry and see what that correlates to as far as our monthly hostile activity goes. So if we go over here to manage colony and we hover over let excel activity, we have a +6 from refining and a +4 from orbital works. So something that's contributing to that is the fact that we're using domain artifacts on our refining, and then also a domain artifact on our orbital works. So if we go to manage item and we just remove those, and then hover over Luddic path cells activity, you'll now see we don't have any contributing from orbital works, and we have a 2 coming from refining. Now, we could do this, but as you can see, our colony is going to be dirt poor, costing us quite a lot. But on the bright side, if we look at our monthly rate, monthly factors, we now only have +2, which is the same, like we mentioned before, the +2 interest that's over here, and that's coming from refining. Now, I don't know how to lower the interest from refining itself. If anybody knows how to do that, then that would be fantastic. But for right now, that is just what it is. So at most, we could get -9 currently every month. It'll tick down. But that will cost us 50,000 credits until we stabilize completely. So I think what we can do is we can limit some of the the costs required to run this planet. And one of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to install an AI core on refining. And as you can see here, let me remove it. What I'm looking at is the imports on the right side. So we currently don't produce enough ore and transplutonics to support refining. But if we assign an AI core, accessibility. Our accessibility is too low to import the amount that we need. But we can fix that if we upgrade this to a megaport. Then we'll have enough accessibility. But if we install this, then we would have enough to cover our needs, because over here on Anubis, once mining is built, which we have 1 day left, all right, it's a pretty long day, but once mining is built, then we should produce enough, just enough ore and just enough transmutonics that we don't have to import it anymore. And actually, if we go back to raw and we remove the AI core, do we still have enough? We have enough ore, we don't have enough transmutonic ore. So let's go ahead and install it. And this will cost us 1 interest, but it'll mean that we don't have to import so much to support raw. Now, as far as the rest of this goes, we can install another AI core on our population infrastructure, and that'll reduce a lot of our demands. And the rest of this, unfortunately, until our planet stabilizes more, we're not actually going to be able to increase the orbital works via the corrupt nanoforge. What we could do, though, is we can use our administrator. It's going to be quite expensive. Actually, strike that. We're going to use ourselves to govern Ra, and then we will assign our cheaper administrator to some planet that we don't necessarily care about the output for example, Set. So let's go ahead and assign you over here. So now, if we look at Ra, we're getting a +1, and actually, we're getting a +1 on Anubis as well. So Ra should now produce almost enough. If we spend story points, we'd have to spend 4 of them. We would produce enough supply, heavy machinery, and ship hulls to support the rest of our colonies. How many points do we have? We have 14. That's a large commitment. We'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and make that improvement. It might not necessarily be the right thing, but it'll reduce the cost of the rest of our colonies overall. So let's go ahead and spend that. Yes. Nice. So now we produce enough supplies, heavy machinery, and heavy armaments for the rest of our planets. And now we're still at a deficit, but Ra costs half as much. It is supplying enough goods for the rest of our planets. And if we look at our hostile activity, we went from -1 to -7. So now we're ticking down 7 times as quickly. Huge improvement. Definitely nice improvement there. And actually, I think this is unnecessary. Let's unassign that. Yeah, I think that's unnecessary. We'll just import some of these goods. I think that'll be okay. So that's the quick highlight on how hostile activity works. So we're gonna be ticking down at -8. Eventually, we should reduce, or we should go back under the threshold for high impact, which is at 250. So that'll be in roughly what? 6 months. 6 months from now, we should tick back below high impact, which is going to give us a massive boost to accessibility, as well as increasing our stability on all of our colonies by 1. At that point, we should tick down even faster. So to assist this, we're going to hop in our fleet and just find some small Pather pirates or Pather or pirate fleets to fight, and then we can advance the clock a little quicker. Alright, so now that we have some sense of hostile activity, it doesn't feel as daunting dealing with the system. So we should actually drop those off there. So we'll just keep them in our inventory for now. Take a quick peek at the fleet. We're gonna swap out this hammer barrage. It was interesting to try it, but I think ultimately unnecessary. I think what'll help here is actually a squall, which will steal off of the we'll steal off the apogee. We'll just strip the apogee down. No. I kind of like this build, so we'll keep it. I don't know if expanded missile racks is necessary, so we'll take a look at that in a second. All right, let's go ahead and put you away. And I think having a squall on a griffin is a good idea because you're just gonna have that constant kinetic pressure all over the battlefield. Same thing. I don't necessarily think the reapers are necessary. Let's go with just more harpoons. And if essentially you'll just serve as like a beefed up venture. We can steal from you. Okay. I was like, I know it doesn't cost that much. And we don't have a hyper velocity driver to give you, but the heavy autocannon will do for now. On ourselves, we'll go ahead and install 2 sabos. Is what I would use if I had them. Can we steal another sabo? I really value symmetry. Devastating. You have a sabo pod? You do. I'll actually steal that. Alright. Oh, well, we can actually steal yours. And, yeah, nerf the better ship for the sake of symmetry. Nice. Alright. So, now with this kind of setup, I think we're going to do a lot better in combat. So let's go find those weaker fleets and fight them off. Currently, our debt is at, I think, 500k a month. It's about 500k currently, and the bulk of that is revolving unpaid debt. But let's see what we can do if we can make our colonies generate a little bit more profit over the next few months. Alright, so let's patrol around. I think Anubis was having difficulties. Let's see if there's a fleet down there. Eventually we'll get to the point where we have heavy patrols, and just like in just like at Asconia, how the Lion's Guard flies around outside of the star system, eventually we'll have that as well. Alright. So you're patrolling there. You're fine. Hey, fantastic. Oh, they were coming from her. Interesting. So hostile activity actually just fell off. Wait, no, it didn't. I guess the cell dissolved over here, but we're still getting that +3. Cool. But Ra gets a nice stability bonus. And this is kind of what I was talking about in the previous episode. It was a little bit of a mistake to upgrade population and infrastructure, because the only way to get rid of this now would be to abandon the colony and rebuild. So a little bit of an oopsie. Eventually we'll get to the point where our stability will be maxed, even with Freeport turned on. But for right now, we can at least, without Pather activity, we can run Freeport and still be at 8. Does it make a difference? Not really. If anything, Freeport seems to make things a little bit worse. Alright, let's keep patrolling around. Looking for those points of interest. Oh, we need supply. Let's head over to Raw, steal some supply. Just add to the debt. It'll be fine. Alright. Ugh, we are running very slim on crew. Actually, we'll take these with us. The most dedicated among us. We'll sell off these lobster. And I think we're gonna sell the Onslaught blueprint. No, don't be silly. We'll hold it for now. Let's go see if we can do a trade mission. And generate some currency that way. Alright. I'm being silly. We'll never sell lobsters. Looks like we can sell to Nova Maxios. So we can sell the Kazaron. We could sell the Sphinx. And we have survey data that we can also sell. Sure, we could sell the high-tech blueprint as well. And all right. Something we could also do is we could look for independent worlds that have heavy industry or orbital works and sell them in Nanoforge. Might be something to consider. Again, making the independent stronger works in all of our benefit because the independents do a very good job of countering pirate activity. Alright, in the meantime, let's go sell these things off. We have, what, 4,000... We have 4,000 cargo capacity. I really like to be above 5,000, but I guess we don't really have a choice here. Do we have enough fuel to make it to the core worlds? Let's see. Well, we just need to make it to Nakara, and Nakara's the next system over. If we can't make it to the next star system, then I guess the series is over anyway. Okay. So there's a pirate fleet that we were looking for. Avoiding contact. Do you think I'm that much stronger than you? Yeah, we'll take on that fight. Oh, there's something large coming this way. I was originally going to let them go, but then I thought about it. If we let this fleet go, then they just end up in our system. Just becomes an issue for our colonies. If you want to do better at close engagements, just zoom in. On these smaller battlefields, because I know the bulk of the fighting is actually just frigates, I'm actually going to send you up like this. Because I know the majority of the fighting is going to be frigates, I don't really have to worry so much about my left and rights. I'm actually going to have you help me destroy this mule. So I can afford to zoom in just to make sure I line those shots up. Oh yeah, and with salamanders, if you put your shields up, most of the time your engines aren't covered by your shields. Very few ships in games actually have 360 shields. If you swing left and then swing right as the salamander hooks around, then it'll usually splash on the side of your ships, saving your engines. Okay. So accelerate animal feeder is ready. We have a Chocos coming from the side. I need to be careful there. Oh, I apologize for the flashbangs. I will address that in a little bit. I just need to go into the files and go back to hit edit. There's a setting, I think it's called like whiteout or something. Because I like the whiteout explosions, but I understand it's not everybody's favorite. Alright, good job everybody. I wonder if, because they're close enough to our system, if we'll get that bonus. So we'll let them go. We don't need to recover any of these ships. Ooh, actually the mule would have been good to recover because we need cargo space. That's fine. Thank you for the supplies. Yes, we do. So now we want to... now we want to follow up here. Alright, we gotta be careful here. Alright. So unfortunately we have to let that go. We're gonna fight this, see if we get our +2, and then we'll fight that column, that pirate fleet up there. It's a lot larger than it actually is. The majority of it's really just freighters. So we'll pursue them. We'll just let our second in command handle it, and we'll just do this. Now this one's a little further, so let's see if we still get that too. We don't, because it's outside of the range of our colonies. So what we want is for this fleet to actually get closer to our system and then go fight it. Yeah, this fleet looks a lot larger than it actually is, but let's go ahead and let them. On a salvage expedition. Alright. So we'll go ahead and move in here, and this should be close enough to our systems. Oh, they are severely weakened. Oh, they are very weakened. So this will be a very easy fight. Their CR is so low. That's fantastic. So we'll move into engage. They even have a proper afflictor. Like, not the pirate version. Which is interesting. We'll stay in the hammerhead for this. For this fight, though, we need to make sure that we keep our fleet together. Otherwise, we'll get surrounded by the larger numbers here. Alright. So we'll deploy all. We'll do groups. So we'll do 2 enforcers in one group. Make those group 3. 2 enforcers in the other group, make that group 4. We'll give 1 eradicator group 3. We'll take 2 enforcers for ourselves on group 4. And then the Griffin, we'll follow it. So we'll give it the command to take the comm relay. And then our monitor, we're just going to send forward, and it can explore itself. Alright. So let's see how this goes. So we should get some really nice weapons from this fight. Really interested to see what we get. Alright, so they didn't really have an anchor. So this fight shouldn't be too hard. We just have to keep in mind they have a lot of frigates. But our enforcers should be able to help with that. Okay, it looks like the bulk of the fleet went right side. So we're gonna go advance on the right side as well. Looks like our fleet is sticking together. The only thing that might be a liability is a Griffin. Ooh, look at those hypervelocity drivers. That's nice. So unlike before, in this scenario, I don't necessarily want to zoom in because there's just a lot of other factors going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give the Eradicator the eliminate command on the hammer and then just follow it up. Yeah. We're going to fall back and just make sure the Griffin isn't getting surrounded, which it looks like it might be. We'll give the Griffin our Eradicators or our Enforcers. And then let's switch off. That's that swing that I was talking about with the salamanders. And let's deal with this up here. So I'll go ahead and cover the Eradicator's flank since I know it can take on a hammerhead. Not really too worried there. Centurion's actually a really nice distraction. Because that shield gives it, its force armor gives it an opportunity to reset its shield. Really cool. Looks like the Griffin did end up getting surrounded, but because it has the Enforcers by its side, it looks like the enemy can't really push forward. Alright, if we can, let's see if we can destroy the Afflictor. So point defense absolutely destroys phase ships because it fires so often, and it fires in every direction. I mean, charge you might. Eventually, you will get tired. Yeah, those Vulcan cannons are having no problem tearing that Afflictor up. Alright, cool. So let's go ahead and let them escape. Again, we want to drag this fight out as long as possible. So we will let them go. If we want to be particularly vindictive, we could, in theory, just destroy one frigate at a time. And considering that that's going to be a reduction of what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 15 points of hostile activity, that's what, like almost 2 months. I think we're going to do that. So sorry, this is going to be very boring, but I'll do it once and then cut the episode there so you don't have to watch me do it 14 more times. So we'll let them go. We'll consider ship recovery just so we have a higher chance of recovering weapons. And we actually get an afflictor, which is nice, so we'll take that. And then the rest of this we'll pick through. We get our Mauler, fantastic. We can upgrade the Eradicator now. And we can take the rest of this. Right, so we get +3 for that fight. However, when we go to fight them, we can pursue them, and we can take command of the action, and we'll just destroy one ship. So we'll deploy ourselves, and then we'll let them leave. We'll destroy the Atlas, actually, so that way we have a chance to recover it. Since we're just destroying one ship, we're going to use all of our missiles. Alright. Okay, so now they have 14 ships remaining. We will definitely take that Atlas. Fantastic. And we should get another -1. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. You're not going to miss anything. It's just going to be me clicking on the same fleet doing that again. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Made a huge breakthrough on hostile activity, understanding how the system works. So I hope that helps you out if you're struggling with your colonies. I will do a 0.96 colony guide. I feel like a lot has changed. Enough has changed that it warrants new guides coming out. But yeah, other than that, Grumpy out.